I'm here to speak about the Liverpool City Region Residents' Assembly on Data and AI Innovation. That's the last time I'm going to say that in full because it's a very long title. I come from a project, a data stewardship project in the city region called the Civic Data Cooperative. We are funded by the Liverpool City Region Combined Authority and hosted at the University of Liverpool to use data to help solve big problems in the city region. And when we talk about big problems, we mean things like this. If you are born in Sand Hills versus Mossley Hill, so Sand Hills is in the north of Liverpool and Mossley Hills is in the south, your life expectancy at birth goes up by 13 years. I think when we talk about big problems in the region, we think about the north-south divide, we think about how Liverpool compares to other areas. What I'm most interested in data and digital solving is the inequality we see in our own communities. And I say that very obviously as someone who's from Canada and not from Liverpool. But we also know that data and AI themselves can be big problems. And when our residents see news about what's happening with data, they see things like this. Data being hacked, being shared in ways that don't align to their values and their ethical standpoints. And beyond bad actors, there are lots of genuine examples in the UK when algorithms have been applied in a way that causes harm. And very dramatically can also end in people's death when algorithms tell Black patients they should not be in the emergency room, they should be somewhere else, and they get sent without sufficient care. But when we talk to people in the city region and we run a lot of public participation and engagement exercises with them, and we say, what are you most concerned about? Things like privacy and security come up, but the biggest thing that comes up is the fear that no change will happen. And this is a quote from one of our residents in Widnes, where she said that that is her biggest concern. You're going to collect this, all this data, all this information, and it's just going to fester on like a book in a library, okay? So when we talk about these dichotomies of, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, data having this transformative impact for Liverpool City Region, and also data having these really genuine risks we have to weigh up, what residents want to see happen is projects and principles that make data and AI work for them. So our goal to start setting those kinds of guidelines to work with people to negotiate what positive looks like in the mix between techno-solutionism and pessimism was the focus of our latest project, which was to create a set of open principles on what trustworthy and beneficial data innovation looks like, deliberated and designed by our residents that will help inform future local projects that use data with an impact on people's lives. And we designed those principles using a residents' assembly, which was bringing together over 60 people with 6 sessions to debate the direction of data and AI in the region. And an assembly, if you haven't heard of it before, it's a fairly common public deliberation method, but basically it sets one question to residents, presents a bunch of expertise on that topic, and then asks them to make recommendations. Our specific questions to resident was just what I said, which is what does trustworthy and beneficial data and AI innovation look like in the Liverpool City region? So we, the Civic Data Cooperative, ran the assembly with external support for a whole range of things from evaluation to marketing to recruitment. The 3 core convening partners are the City Region Combined Authority, who funded this work through our grant, the NHS Cheshire and Merseyside Data into Action Programme, and the Civic Health Innovation Lab at the University of Liverpool, and who took part very briefly. So this is my favorite bit of data from our assembly because it shows that people actually wanted to stay on and debate with us. Normally when you see recruitment numbers like this, you see a whole lot of people, a massive drop to like half, and then it keeps going. I'm very proud to say we retained 59 people attending all sessions except for our optional debrief at the end. And these 59 people were very specifically representative of the demographics of the region. So they were all 6 local authorities, a range of ages, a range of economic backgrounds and jobs and experiences. And they came together in one big group to do this specifically. One half of the session was about learning and understanding data and AI. We did not expect our residents to come being experts on any of these topics. So a lot of our sessions were focused on learning. The other half was completely focused on deliberation. And that was specifically this, a lot of figures. I had fun with word art. We asked our residents first to think really big. What are your hopes and fears about data and AI in your community? Let's then narrow that down and make some real concrete recommendations. Let's combine everyone's recommendations into one specific set of similar principles. And then we did a big ranked choice vote. So we asked them to rank the most important principles to be included in a charter for the region. And then lots of very tiring and stressful feedback sessions with everyone. Here are some photos of our lovely residents who took part in our exercises. Here debating with all of our staff members in the room. And I'm not going to tell you the full details of what was in the charter. I'll give you a flavor because it is still in draft. We will be launching the charter in 1 month. But I want to outline that we have 11 final principles that outline the voices of 59 Liverpool City Region residents on how data and AI can work for their community. And I think something we've heard a lot about from stakeholder feedback is that, oh, some of these feel like something we do already. But I think the core message for us is that residents don't know those things are happening. So you can say you're being transparent, you can say you're communicating well, but if they don't perceive that, you're not meeting that requirement, for lack of a better word, in the charter. So the principles like this, and any region who develops something like this, they don't supersede legal responsibilities. They're not a legal requirement. What they are is a request that human integrity and dignity are the core values for data and AI in the region. So without further ado, here is a flavor of the principles that the residents voted on, ranked in order of their preference. The first one is the most obvious one you would expect in any charter like this, which is please use data and AI for good. And our residents have given us some very meaty and lovely feedback for us to share on what that specifically means to them. But I just wanted to highlight one principle to end on, which was balanced innovation. And I think this recognizes how much time our residents spent debating these things, because we had residents who said, I don't want AI to cause any job losses. And we had some residents say, that's not realistic. So what we came to was this idea that data and AI should drive innovation in the Liverpool City region. It should promote community-led data projects, but every effort should be made to counteract negative impacts specifically on the environment and the well-being of future generations. Where data and AI result in job losses, there should be mitigation and offset by upskilling. And the biggest thing we heard from our residents is that they do not want to see guidelines lead to risk aversion and lead to change not happening. So bureaucracy should not prevent positive impacts from data and AI. If you would like to hear more about our suite of work and what we're doing, please get in touch. We are running a community data hackathon where we're chatting about these principles in more detail in a few weeks, so please reach out if you're interested in taking part.
So Caroline Arnold-Swift, I'm a Programme Manager for Office of Public Service Innovation at the Liverpool City Region Combined Authority. My question, super simple one. What surprised you most out of the engagement that you had through the Assembly?
I think the amount that the residents felt very responsible for seeing a successful charter, and the amount they were, at the end of the day, still concerned not so much about whether they got the principles right, but whether they did something that would help their fellow citizens. I think kind of people that show up to an event like this are already very engaged and interested, but they felt a real sense of social responsibility, which I found really lovely and enjoyable to take part in. Perhaps not a surprise, but a really heartwarming part of it, yeah.